Welcome to A World Gone Mad, where I am your host, Christian McMillan. Today we are joined by Matt Purkis of the band Black Pontiac. I recently listened to your newest single, Call Me Lover. I gotta say, man,
Mm,
it slaps.
Thank you very much, Christian. It's feeling good. We were really happy with the way that one turned out, and I'm glad it's being well received. Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's some really cool things on the verses where it's second or third line in. There's this really just crisp delay and reverb throw on your vocals.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. Sam Ryan did the mix for that one.
I slightly had a feeling, and it was because I
Yeah.
saw him feature the song in something else he posted in the background. I could hear it. So I
Okay.
slightly
Okay.
suspected he might have.
Totally. We had just decided recently that we wanted to take more control over our production,
Cool.
but I am not a mixer. That is not what my where my strengths lie. I recognize that, and so our creative process now has a lot to do with going into the studio with the song, tracking everything with an engineer. In this case, it was Matt DiPomponio who produced our last album,
Cool.
and then we send all of those things off to a mixer. In this case, it was Sam Ryan of SAE fame, and
Represent.
we told him what we wanted, and I think that really worked for us this time around. We did a whole EP like that, and I'm very happy with the result.
Very cool. Very cool. That's it's sending it away to be mixed. There's trust. There's
Yes,
trust involved, but
yes, there is.
that is where you can hear though that he honored that trust to the fullest extent. It's a beautiful mix, man.
Well, thank you very well. I mean, we know we've seen it. We've seen him turn a random synth sound into a full song, like a sine wave. And I just when I was talking to the guys about it, I really sold them on it because it's like you said, sending it off to somebody that can be difficult, and it was difficult for us as well, certainly. But I think it had very positive payout in the end because you can't do everything. You really can't, not at the level that we want to be at.
Absolutely. That is, the more you level up, the more people are listening, the larger you want the team to be, right?
Exactly, exactly. I
And then
mean,
you got more ears on it just to for anyone to hear anything that might need a slight critique or just even you have no fatigue occurring.
yeah, yeah. And again, it's really I just we want louder, bigger, better mixes, and this felt like an appropriate step up. And so, and in terms of having people around who are able to provide valuable input, like you said, that's also been very important.
Absolutely. It's a level up. Same with that other track, I Need Peace, but War is Fun.
Yes. So actually, Sam did not do the mix for that one. That one was a little
Okay.
different. That was done by James Younger of Yukon Blonde fame.
Okay.
We had done a single with him previously, People Pleaser, which he had produced and mixed, and we felt like that was the first single off the EP we have coming out, and we felt like that was an appropriate transition from the more, I guess, pop sound of Tsunami into the garage rock sounds that we're trying to pursue now.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's a really smooth transition where there is still some of the best pop elements you could have in the
Yeah.
mix, but it is the guitars are a little crustier.
Yes, yes. I think ultimately what we're going for is the garage rock revival sound, but with pop songwriting.
Cool.
I think
Cool.
that's where I could see it going.
I
Because,
could as well. I
yeah,
also that the War is Fun track, some of the elements in there remind me of something like an NXS song or something. There's 80s elements, especially on
yes,
the guitar.
And you know what else? Actually, I mean, I don't know if this is 80s, but featured once was a new toy I recently purchased, my Omnicord
Oh man,
800. Yes, I found it on Facebook Marketplace for kind of
that's
cheap.
very
And
cool.
yeah, I don't get to use it very often, but when I do, the payout is so immense. I love this thing. It's so neat. Have you ever used one?
I've never. It looks like a ton of fun just seeing it for a second.
Oh yeah, it's like this crazy like Japanese synth
Okay.
that does all kinds of different like drum sounds and things. That there's that little flourish at the end of the second chorus that you hear, the little
Yeah,
that's the Omnichord. And
very
then it's
cool.
kind of interspersed in that little bridge.
That's awesome. That's a sweet
Cool.
find, man.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy with it.
I like that it's probably because it's Japanese, it doesn't really resemble what you and I would think of as a synth typically. It
No,
almost
no,
looks like
not
an
at all.
accordion compressed into a piece of plastic or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, they're so well similar to kind of the like the 808 drum machines and stuff that were coming out of there in the same time period
Yeah.
that were just so different and so unique and almost probably because of that had pushback initially in its time.
Hmm. So you guys are just wrapping up a tour, right?
Yeah, I just got home yesterday.
Yeah,
Slept for 12, 13 hours.
right
Had
on. I'm
that
sure you
post
needed it.
tour. Yeah, I had that post tour hibernation. It felt amazing. Got some coffee now. I'm just hanging out.
Right on, right on. How'd it go?
It was amazing. There was just so many more people that showed up than we had anticipated. Uh, just I think our draw combined with grade school's draw, who were the support act that came with us. I think our combined draw got a lot of people out in most places. Like, and I think the only place that was not as successful was Kamloops,
Okay,
but in general, Kamloops is just very much like a punk metal kind of town. And we also didn't have a local opener for that one, which
okay.
made it more difficult. But still, probably, there were people there and we had a good time. I mean, I don't know.
Right on. Yeah, I saw some
Yeah,
pictures you posted. It looked like hella fun.
it was wicked. I really it felt like I mean the last show in Kelowna for the Canada Day thing that the city was putting on was amazing. It felt
Cool.
like a moment it felt like a moment that occurs right before a band experiences a big break.
That's beautiful. Felt
Yeah.
poetic.
It felt amazing. It was like raining like crazy. And we just decided we were just gonna rip and we were scared that people were gonna get scared off because of the weather, but no, there were probably 150 people out there, 200
That's
people.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny because while you're speaking, sometimes you lose a question. You had a couple lined up,
Yeah,
and that's
I
what
see,
I
I
just
see.
lost my
Yeah, yeah,
train of
yeah.
thought.
All good, man.
Did you have a favorite spot on the tour?
It was definitely Kelowna,
Yeah.
100%. They there was just it was a good crowd. Festival Kelowna, they put us up in a really nice hotel and so we just hung out. And because we played in Summerland the night previously, we came to Kelowna. We stayed in a hotel in Kelowna, and so we got to just hang out for the whole day before the show, which I like. I like doing. Kelowna, I think of anywhere in the interior is the most happening place. I think.
Yeah. I've spent very little time myself in Kelowna. I might have even just
Hmm.
passed through.
Yeah,
But that whole part of the country, the greens are literally greener.
they are. It's so beautiful out there, especially in the summer. You pass by a lot of small towns in between all these different places, Kamloops, Kelowna. I mean, Vernon is a small town, but smaller towns. life must just be so, so different than if you were to grow up in a metropolitan area like myself, or I mean, you're from Thunder Bay. I don't know how big it is, but
It's right in between. It's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
small city or a really big town is another way you
Right,
could
right,
view
right,
it.
right.
It's
Yeah, but
right on the
like
cusp.
totally. Yeah, it's like life's different out there, I imagine.
Yeah, it varies a bit no matter where you go, right?
Hmm.
I had
Absolutely.
seen you were credited for producing, was it an EP recently?
I we finished up a I finished up a project with Lavinia recently,
Okay,
and I produced three songs on the final product, and then co-wrote four of them,
awesome.
and that was a lot of fun. Lavinia and I have a very good we have a good working relationship, and the process of that was really just hanging out and doing whatever we felt like doing, whether
Cool.
it be coming up with a new song or writing something or adding this to that or whatever it happens to be. And so the process was very natural.
Cool. Did it come about entirely organically?
Well, she wanted to do an EP,
Okay.
and I said, absolutely, let's do it. We got together, and she just said, okay. It happened over a pretty long duration of time. Some were ideas that we had in the vault already, and others were things that were really spontaneous, kind of like Jailbird. Jailbird was a little bit like that, which was a collaborative single we had done a year prior. And again, I would just come over, I'd bring my mic and my interface, and we just, she's like, I want a beat that sounds like this, or I want to do this, but let's track it with the band. So it was a combination of all these different recording techniques we'd used in the past. Sometimes it'd be all in the box, sometimes it'd be with the band. So this EP was a process of putting that all together.
Cool.
So she's got a single coming out this coming Friday at the time of this recording,
Okay.
which we worked on together that I'm really excited about.
Cool. Cool. I can't wait to check it out.
Right on.
You have any other projects in the works right now?
Um, I am finishing up a song for Olivia Porti. Porti. Um, at the moment, she's doing kind of she's moving more into a singer-songwriter, Phoebe Bridgers type of lane, and departing from the pop that we had done previously a little bit. And then with the time that I have this summer, I'd really like to finish a Stuntman Maddie EP. I'm gonna have it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of project is that going to be?
It's like a Remy Wolf, Tyler the Creator, alt pop rap thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of tracks I just had sitting in my hard drive that I really just need to get mixed, either by myself or by somebody else. I'm not sure, but that we'll have to see. I just need to dedicate a window of time to it. That's all.
I hear that. I hear that. That's what recently I've started going back through all my old files and
Yeah.
finding every beat that, I lost interest with over the years and
Mhm.
just been using each one to hone a certain skill set, whether it's mastering or mixing, and then just tossing out type beats to YouTube.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You can't be good at everything. You
Hmm.
just can't. And for me, it's really taken a lot of help to get the projects that I've done across the finish line. Frankie has been a big help there. Frankie Mbaza.
Yeah, he's been on the show before. He's
Oh, he
supposed to
has.
again
Okay.
soon.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's really been a big help just with in the mixing fields and with some production. We've collaborated on a few things. That's been awesome because he is just such a great guy.
He's really
Like
easy
him,
to spend time with and just
yeah, him and his brother is him and his brother are both kid filthy, both incredibly talented.
Yeah, I was actually listening to Kid Filthy's most popular song today,
Was that Venomous or Top?
Kylo.
Kylo. Okay, okay.
I thought it
Yeah,
slapped. I hadn't listened to him before, but I actually didn't know him and Frankie were brothers, but I knew there was an affiliation between them. So I thought I'll check this guy out on a whim just a couple
yeah.
hours ago.
The world is so small, man. I tell you, especially maybe it's a Vancouver thing, but I knew about Kid Filthy before I met Frankie. And it was while I was going to SAE. We just started talking one day. He had said to me, "Oh yeah, my brother's a rapper." And I was like, "Oh, who's your brother?" Kid Filthy. And it's just like mind blown because I I really liked the Baroque Black and Thugin EP, and everything he's put out since then has been top quality. His new single, Top, incredible. He's really pushing. He he's really trying to experiment with songwriting and song structure, but the rapping is still of the highest caliber of anyone in Vancouver, really. Anyone in BC, certainly. Western Canada, no, there's no contest.
Yeah, I loved it. That was the only track I've heard so far, but I
Hmm.
gotta dive a little deeper into his
Oh, you do.
catalog.
Oh, he's incredible. He's
That
got to
was
get
even
a
my thought was potentially getting him on the show since me and Frankie have plans to book a
yeah,
conversation
man.
soon.
I think he would love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe even sync it up with. I like to do a show, especially when someone has a project just drop, and then maybe even get
Yeah.
Frankie, the engineer, to talk about the recording process of a song.
Well, he also did a verse for a remix that we have coming out. Hopefully soon. Hopefully eventually. It was supposed to come out earlier, but it's in the vault now. A Black
Okay,
Pontiac remix.
very cool.
Yeah,
Very
which I'm
cool.
excited about.
Did you take one of your songs and mix it into a beat?
No, it's just it's a well whatever. It's a I need peace but war is fun, and then he's doing the first verse,
Okay, cool.
and we have one or two other features as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Kind of like a whole group gang
exactly. It's like a
vibe.
posse cut,
Yeah, cool.
and so you and your audience will be the first to hear it. You're the first people to get that information. I haven't revealed it
Awesome.
to anyone else yet.
Awesome. Maybe we'll all have to
Yeah,
do a group chat when it comes out.
yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What are some of your favorite things occurring in music lately?
My favorite thing's crying. Um, there's been a lot of I don't know. Oh, you know what? My favorite thing. I'll tell you what it is. Mick G has been on the
Okay.
come up recently. I just loved his newest album, Two Star and the Dream Police. He helped produce an album by an artist named Dijon.
Okay.
It was very, very, I very much enjoyed. Very psychedelia, Americana. It's the production is very unique. It's very out there. Uses a lot of room tones, and I don't even know how it's done. I don't know how it's mixed, but it's recorded and mixed in such a way that it just feels like it's using its natural environment to their advantage. And so Mick G
Cool.
brings that into his own projects, and it's just very different. It's very cool.
When you say
Uh,
environment, almost like it sets a scene with the music.
well, like it sounds like in a lot of these songs that the guitar is recorded from the other side of the room,
Okay.
but it sounds good. It sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, almost like a storytelling element
Yeah,
is
yeah.
how I've started thinking of music lately.
Yeah. Well, it's very intimate,
Okay.
very intimate. In a way,
Almost like you're there in the room,
yes,
personally
a little
listening.
bit.
Cool.
But the room, I'm sitting there in the room, but the room in front of me is moving.
Okay.
All the furniture is being rearranged right in front of me without hands to guide it.
Okay. Just music.
Just music, just music.
That's awesome. Brings a room to
Yeah.
life,
Yeah,
maybe.
but there are people and there are voices. There are there are other people in the room and voices are happening and things are happening and you can't exactly explain what it is that's occurring.
That's awesome. Sounds
Yeah.
cool. You said Mick G?
McG. So it's spelled MK dot period
Okay.
G
Okay.
GEE.
I'll have to check this out. Your
Yeah.
description has me very interested.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Absolutely by Dijon
Okay.
as well. The album, like Dijon Mustard.
Okay.
It's very sad, but
Okay. I love sad music myself.
if you like sad music, you'd like.
No,
I'll
I'm
send you a
very
link
much
after.
so. I got that sad boy inside me.
Yeah, yeah. And also a lot of cool things happening in pop music right now. Just with like the Charlie XCX album, which I thought was cool. Brat.
Okay.
Um, I mean, there's so much happening beneath the oh, there's so much happening beneath the shadow of Taylor Swift and Drake.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's just like, if you actually like turn the rock over instead of just being like all modern music sucks, and you'd actually see, oh, there's so many cool little niches and crevices. And also, I mean, I just remembered the beef, not like us. That's been my favorite thing in music. Absolutely.
Yeah, you mean Kendrick.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what
So
he finished
insane.
it with a hell of a death blow. That Not
Oh,
Like Us is
yeah.
insane.
Well, I heard a remix might be coming and a music video. And now
Really?
he's kind of milking it for all it's worth now, but power to him, right?
Yeah, the crowd just goes bananas at every
Hmm.
live show. I think I caught the day it happened or the day after
Yeah.
his first time performing it.
It came out when I was at uh it came on when I was at bar a couple weekends ago. Just the DJ started playing Not Like Us, which I thought was really
Yeah, it's a song you're hearing everywhere, I
yeah.
find. It's blown
Yeah.
up, but it's, credit where credit is due.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he capitalized on a moment. And that's really
And he went
he
all
can't
out. It's really
yeah,
bold, right? Like he
it
took the
is.
beef to the next level and finished it.
Yeah, it's over. But it's different from the 90s just because people on social media won't like people who are entrenched in their respective camps will
Hmm.
always they won't move. They won't budge no matter what happens, there will be people who say Drake won, who say Kendrick won. And that's just the way that's kind of the frustrating part about it. But
Yeah, the kind of people who would just stay in their lane of allegiance,
yeah,
regardless of
yeah,
what songs were put out or whatever actually occurred.
exactly,
People who
exactly.
determined who they thought won before it was over.
Before it even started. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
And I wonder if that was always a thing or if that emerged in the advent of social media, similar to politics or any other
Yeah, it might
anything you could
even,
have.
it
Go
could
ahead.
just be more intense, right? It might just
Yeah.
be accentuated by, the garbage fire that is Twitter.
That's what is it? I recently finished reading this book. It's called Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil
Okay.
Postman. Incredible read.
Who is it by?
Um, Neil Postman.
Okay.
He is a some kind of communications professor,
Okay.
philosopher. Part of what he says is building on the message of Marshall McLuhan, who said the media is um, the media is the message, the medium is the message, the medium is the message.
Okay.
Um, how do we say this? If we were, oh, excuse me, social media is so interesting and vitriolic because of the medium through which it occurs. Uh, if we were debating who won the Kendrick and Drake via smoke signal, I don't think it would be as intense,
Hmm.
And it's so easy to just kind of. I'm using the beef as a way of talking about it. But you could really, like we've mentioned, use it to talk about anything. But because everything is so trivial and entertaining. It's all based on entertainment. We can really say whatever we want with no fear of repercussion of any
Hmm.
kind because
Yeah,
of
the phenomenon where through text and through the pushing
yeah,
of technology, you're more likely to
yeah,
say things that you would never regularly say or say them to
yeah,
someone you never would. And
yeah.
I had heard when this first started to be observed, maybe 15 years ago, someone was talking about it and they thought it was a good thing because maybe, a shy person will be more likely to tell you what's on their mind. But
And
15 years later, we feel, you just see the minefield that is any social media app.
oh, you literally can't say anything. You can't agree. Like yeah, people yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, there's always going to be it's like anything you say is being held up on this public forum where it can be analyzed and dissected by everything as if it's being published like a
Hmm.
peer-reviewed essay. And everyone has something to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually the people that you want to hear it the least from have the most.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And most people are, that's not real life. It's not real life. And you go outside and you realize most people are actually just normal.
Absolutely. The
That's
silent
always a good, yeah.
majority.
That's always a good reminder. It's always a good reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. There's even times in my life where I felt like it's like I wouldn't be able to talk about certain subjects or my perception of them because social media tells you that it's such a I get just a minefield. It's something that
Yeah,
every take you could have on it is something that you'll be branded even a bad person for. But then as
right.
soon as it's brought up in a room of real people in the temporal world, you're amazed that it was nowhere near as difficult to say what's on your mind. And
Yeah,
the majority of people are far more reasonable than Twitter would tell you they are.
exactly. And I think I work in education currently,
Okay.
and you see a lot of uh, kids inundated to that world at a younger age, and I think there's
Hmm.
going to be a shift in that as time progresses and people, our age begin to have children. Having seen the effects of that, I think there will be a pushback against social media and raising. I would like to keep my kids away from phones and social media for as long as possible.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think a lot of my friends feel that way as well.
No, I do think there's going to be a split of tribes into people who embrace more traditional factors and people who entirely want to merge with technology.
Yeah,
That'll
that's a
that'll
con
be a split of camps in itself down the road, I think.
and that's actually been a really interesting conversation we've had within the band recently is how technology, how we would like to use technology as the music industry continues to advance and AI just becomes a commonplace practice in the creative process. Because the reality is you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Mhm.
So why not embrace it and use it to the fullest uh, advantage that you can, as long
Mhm.
as you're not plagiarizing, obviously.
Yeah, trying to keep the human elements, but also just augment where you stand as a musician with whatever
Yeah,
tools don't make it inauthentic, right?
exactly, exactly. And things like Pro Tools and Elastic Audio were considered ridiculous in their day. So,
Hmm.
I learned recently that We Are Young by Fun actually uses Elastic Audio in the vocals, and that's why it sounds so big and epic.
Really?
Yeah, somebody, I think Matt DiVamponio was telling me that the other day because the in the chorus where it goes tonight, right? That
Yeah.
is Elastic Audio being stretched. That T sound is being pulled
Really? The
apart. So it's like,
sibilance.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly, and it works so well. It probably sounded ridiculous in the studio, but the final result was, uh, I think, amazing.
Yeah, that's one of those worthy fuck around and find outs.
Exactly, exactly. And you got to wonder, okay, what will the next thing like that with AI be?
Yeah, and that's what you it's really easy to see the path once it's already been carved, but some people got their
Yeah.
finger on the pulse of where it's going
And that's
just before.
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of where I'm hoping that can help us out. I'm hoping it can help us out.
Cool, cool. I think that's a great place to wrap it up right
All right,
now.
amazing.
And thank you for listening. Thank you, Matt Purkis, for being here. I'm
Of course.
gonna leave the audience with a clip of your latest song as Black Pontiac, Call Me Lover. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Peace.